your own channel is that just like the rest of you, I am also a podcast fan. I like different types of channels that range from geopolitics, hip hop, to combat sports of all kinds. And I gotta tell you, sometimes when you go on and there's nobody that's really touching a particular story that you want to watch or that you want to see, guess what? As a content creator, you can go out there and make your own, create your own ideas, and eventually put a story that you want out there. Well, here's one story that I want out there that I don't think a lot of people are really paying attention to. Maybe they are, and maybe they see it right under their nose, but then again, maybe they're correct about everything else, and everything that Conor McGregor is doing is just nothing more than a facade in order to lure Michael Chandler into a false sense of security. That's very possible. All of that is very much plausible in the idea that there is an art of warfare that is going on here in terms of letting your enemy think that you are doing something when you're not, letting your enemy think that you are weak when you are really strong. And once again, what is this in regards to? Conor McGregor partying and the whole world seeing a video of it. Well, let's talk about the significance of that, because I think there's more to it than that. You see, Mayweather, I gotta tell you, this guy had a reputation of sort of doing the same thing towards his opponents when he was fighting back in the days. If you remember Mayweather in one of those all-access shows that he did for HBO and Showtime, you know what he did? He went out and said, I'm going to go eat pizza, I'm going to go eat tacos, I'm going to eat chips, drink soda, hang out with chicks, and I'll still do better than all of you. I'll still defeat anybody that's in front of me. And I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors to that, but also worth mentioning within those smoke and mirrors that Conor McGregor really had an admiration for Floyd Mayweather. You see, before Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor fought, or before they were even in each other's radar, let alone, let's be honest, let alone when Conor McGregor wasn't even in the radar of Floyd Mayweather, right? Taking it back as far as that. He was mentioning something to the effect like, man, look at all these shoe collections that I got going on, all these fancy stuff, all these materialistic things that I got going. It's like Floyd Mayweather up in here. That's Conor McGregor in 2014 saying that. So it is quite obvious that he absolutely admires Floyd Mayweather in more ways than one. Not just admire him, obviously they are oppositions or rivals in a current moment of time, even though they had already fought. But I think that he sort of emulates him in the way of trying to take his swagger, take some things that Floyd Mayweather did. It was correct. For example, I mean, you've seen Floyd Mayweather use the Philly shell. Conor McGregor uses the Philly shell. You've seen Floyd Mayweather wear suits in his early days. Now you've seen you see Conor McGregor pretending that he is partying, but in reality, he's really training hard, just like Floyd Mayweather is training really hard in those fights that he made people perceive that he was eating chips, eating tacos, and drinking soda, and hanging out with random women. Now, maybe some of that is true, because sometimes, in Ryan Garcia's case, talent really overrides a training camp. And long-term training and long-term good habits overrides the bad habits that you picked up on in the last couple of weeks before your fight. And that's just the reality that we are witnessing with Conor McGregor and his situation right now. Now, all of that could absolutely be absolute BS, because let's face it, let's be really honest about Conor McGregor, right? And in terms of Ryan Garcia, we won that fight. in whatever shape or fashion you want to ignore the controversies behind that. He won that fight, but the reason why he did was because of the fact that he spent his whole entire years training very hard, not slipping up, not having these wild benders that Conor McGregor has had over the years. And it was only in the recent times that he wanted to have a little bit of fun going into a training camp in order for him to make the world believe that he's not really all in this fight, right? But here's the problem with Conor McGregor. He hasn't been a disciplined fighter since the Donald Cerrone fight, and that is the unfortunate reality of this particular scenario, and that's something you guys have to understand. Conor McGregor has not been a disciplined fighter for a while. So as much as we would like to believe that there is some art of war tactics that is being employed here, it's hard to really put a finger on that and say that's what it is, when other past occurrences say otherwise. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. We don't know. Other people out there are saying that they do know. They know that, man, Conor McGregor hasn't been the same Conor McGregor anymore. Okay, maybe there's some truth to that, right? But I want to ask the question about this accusation that they have of Conor doing drugs and things of that nature, right? I got to be honest about this. So the question that I have for that is, yes, has Conor McGregor done coke? Has he done recreational and designer drugs of some sort? Yeah, he did. But how much? How much did he do it? Because that's an important question to ask. You can't just go out and say, yeah, Conor McGregor is an absolute drug addict. But how do you know he's addicted to it? How do you know that he does it every day? You see, this is what we don't know about this whole entire scenario. That's what a lot of people don't understand. How much do we really know? And by the way, I'm going to bring that subject back up again when more people arrive here. So let me repeat that again, and I'm going to say it again later. How do we know how much drugs Conor McGregor is really doing? And that goes both ways. That goes from the extreme end to the moderate end. Because, yes, does he do white? Does he do weed? Does he do alcohol? Of course, every fighter does, to a certain degree. But how much is he doing it? But how little is he also doing it? It's also important to understand. Just because you see him show up at a Bellator event, turn up, just because you see him at a BKFC event looking coked out of his mind, it doesn't mean that he really is. Or if he really is, it doesn't mean that he does it every day. And I think that's the missing part that a lot of people really don't understand about this whole entire scenario that we are trying to understand as people who are onlookers from the outside. Because let's just be honest, right? We don't really know. Not even the coaching staff of Conor McGregor knows his alcohol, drug, and designer drug consumption. We just don't know to what extent. But again, we also have to take into consideration that whole entire video could have been nothing more than just, how do I say this, a facade to lure Michael Chandler into a false sense of security, as I've constantly been mentioning over and over again. So, do I think that Conor McGregor is on drugs during his training camp? I'm going to say it right now, truth to God honesty. I'm going to say no, he's not. He's not. And before I tell you, let me show you guys the Sacramento Bridge around you right now as I am driving through beautiful Sacramento, California. the capital of California as we speak. Okay? So, back to it. What was I saying? Why do I believe that Conor McGregor is not doing these drugs? Because this is going to be hard for a lot of Conor McGregor haters to sort of contend with. I'm going to tell it like this. Conor McGregor is a fighter first before anything. Yes, has he become a celebrity? Has he become a Hollywood movie star based on the numbers that they have mentioned on the Roadhouse movie? Sure. Yeah, he's bigger than life for sure. But in his mind, in his psyche, he understands that all of that was brought by the fact that he is a savage who fights in a cage. That is who Conor McGregor is in a nutshell. Which means that he can suspend his sense of pleasure, his sense of desire to do recreational drugs and a whole bunch of other types of drinking in order for him to accomplish this one goal that is coming up in a couple of weeks' time from now. Which means that it's a high likely that he's not doing anything leading up to this fight. But the question is, how much has he done leading prior to the fight? Because you got to think, this was a very long time in which the Michael Chandler and the Conor McGregor Ultimate Fighter show was being set up, right? They said that they were going to do it in April. It didn't happen. They said they were going to do it in International Fight Week. It didn't happen. They said that they were going to do it during... What's going on here? It's just, I guess people are filming a music video here. Okay. But nonetheless, yeah, this is the capital of Sacramento right here. So what I was saying was, is there a possibility that he did a lot of drugs during his camp, and being the fact that it was supposed to be April, it was supposed to be UFC 300, and now they moved it back to UFC 303, and now here we are with a definitive date and time to his return. And I gotta say, yes, there's a great chance that he was doing all those. How much of that will affect him going into the fight? Because that's the important aspect that we really have to try to understand here. How much of his drug consumption and bad lifestyle led him to, let's say, having an unsuccessful peaking period, right? But again, we don't know. We don't know the true metric numbers and the true, measurements of trying to understand how much he did or how much he didn't do. That's what we're really sort of really puzzled here with. And I think what everyone is just doing at the current moment of time is doing nothing more than just guessing. A lot of people are guessing right now. They don't have a real definitive answer as to what is going on with Conor McGregor. Only guesses. And why? This is the best part of this whole entire story. I'm going to explain to you why a lot of people are coming up with different assumptions that they have for Conor McGregor. Obviously, my assumption is that no. I am of the official belief right now, as I'm telling you right now, officially speaking, that I do not think he is on drugs, at least not in the immediate moment of time. Why? Because I truly believe that this is very much important to him. I've told you guys that he became a movie star, he became a worldwide icon, but above all else, he is a fighter. And all of those things that are a wonderful extra to his life being an actor, being an influencer, being an icon, and now being part of the Hollywood world, all of that was given by the fact that he was a fighter first and foremost. And what does that mean? That means that it is his sworn identity. And as such, I think there is going to be a part of him that can still remain disciplined. You also got to understand that Conor McGregor is an extremely prideful human being. How do I know this? Take a look at Anderson Silva when he broke his leg. Take a look at Chris Weidman when he broke his leg. The screaming, the absolute agony, and just the horror that you heard from Chris Weidman and Anderson Silva was just horrific to listen to. But how did Conor McGregor react when he broke his leg? He sat there in absolute defiance, with his eyes literally lit up, bugged out, trying to control his pain because he knows that he is in front of the world right now. And even though he may have lost this matchup, there is still an opportunity for Conor McGregor to save face. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by saving face? Well, this is exactly what I mean. He had a freak accident, and he can still make it look like, hey, you know what? I'm one of the baddest mother effers out there. And this is the reason why he wants to also fight for the BMF belt. Something to shoot for outside of, let's say, a title aspirations. So why I'm telling you this is because I'm trying to make you understand the psychological makeup of Conor McGregor. The type of guy that will sit there in absolute defiance as his leg is broken after Dustin Poirier beat him, and then on top of that goes after and insults his wife and family even after he was just beat down, shows that Conor McGregor is an extremely prideful human being, to the point that training a little bit harder, and not only that, abstaining from certain alcohol and other substances really isn't that much of a struggle to somebody with that kind of mentality and somebody with that type of motivation. And by the way, guys, I urge you to like and subscribe as I continue on this live stream as we stroll around downtown beautiful Sacramento, my hometown, the greatest fight town in the world, home of Team Alpha Male, home of MMA Gold, and a whole bunch of other top MMA, Muay Thai, and boxing gyms from around the world. Like and subscribe. So let's continue on with Conor McGregor and why a lot of people are saying that he's out there partying. So let's get to that. That is the next segment of this particular topic. Why are people saying that Conor McGregor is partying and not taking this seriously? We can analyze that. It's all very simple. Conor McGregor's not a liked person. You understand? He's not a very liked human being. And a lot of that he has brought upon himself. Unfortunately, he's brought that upon himself. But with that dislike and that disdain for Conor McGregor, and by the way, I'm going to get to the topic of how the Irish are no longer supporting him on this same stream, by the way, so stick around. So the fact that he does a lot of undesirable things, does a lot of cringy things, on top of the fact that he plays the villain, and then adding on to the fact that he's done a lot of distasteful things that really sort of keeps him out of the fold into the original concept of what Conor McGregor was, which is what? A blue-collar hero that came from a working-class background in Dublin only to try and obtain a better life for himself. And many of us in the struggle and aspects of life can relate to that. We can relate to Conor McGregor's situation when he was that guy that was living in the attic of his parents' house with Dee Devlin. There's a lot of people out there that can relate to that. But now, he is no longer in that realm of being an athlete that you can relate to. So he is what Chael Sonnen sort of considers as a rich weirdo. And as such, being a rich weirdo, a lot of people are not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. So this is why a lot of people are saying, yeah, he's partying. He's not taking this seriously. But you forget that Conor McGregor is that guy. He is that guy that doesn't care about anything else other than fighting when it all comes down to it. But here's the objective truth about the whole thing, though, and something you got to understand. Conor McGregor is in a different tax bracket altogether right now, okay? As a result, that reality, for one reason or another, is always going to alter your mind. It is always going to alter your motivation. Just like what Marvin Hagler used to say back in the days. You know what was his world famous phrase, Marvin Hagler? You know what he said? He said, "It's hard to wake up in the morning and run in a cold weather, harsh conditions when you wake up in silk sheets." Conor McGregor probably wakes up in the best hotel rooms, the best yachts with the best bed sheets that you could find in the yacht. And I'm going to be honest with you, man, it's very difficult to get away from that. Especially when you grew up with absolutely nothing. Do you remember when Conor McGregor stepped up on stage with Daniel Cormier and John Jones as a newcomer in the UFC back in 2014? You guys remember that? Do you know what happened? Up there wearing a whole bunch of expensive clothes that was way beyond his salary in his current moment of net worth that he had during that time, right? So in other words, he put all his eggs in one basket in order for him to look rich and play the part. You know, sort of like that whole concept that people say, fake it till you make it type of scenario. That's what he did. He literally tried to fake it until he made it. And when he finally made it, he realized, you know what? I don't know if I want to get up and train when I'm waking up in silk sheets. And you got to think about that. You got to think about how hard that is for anybody to go through a different life transition in that. A lot of you will say, yeah, you know what? If I made that kind of money, I would still go back and work in the post office tomorrow. If I made that kind of money, I would go back and work in the office tomorrow. Hey, look, maybe some of you will, maybe some of you won't. But I got to be honest with you guys. The majority of human beings won't. And quite frankly, you can't blame them. Because I got to be honest with you, comfort is the biggest killer of motivation of all men. And what Conor McGregor has going on right now is just absolute comfort, to which many of us, even people who are in the middle class or upper middle class, can't even understand because of the realm of richness that Conor has going on. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as I give you more details on Conor McGregor's partying habits leading up to his fight with Michael Chandler. Or are they really partying habits? Are they just a sense of creating an illusion? And that's something we have to take into consideration. Because if you don't, well, you're going to be a mark for what these fighters want you to believe. You see, right now, Conor McGregor wants you to believe that he's not training as hard as he wants to, or as hard as he should. You want to know why? You want to know why he wants you to think that? Conor McGregor, let's be honest, was very much inspired by the performance of Ryan Garcia. If you guys remember, Conor McGregor went to the locker room of Ryan Garcia and said to him, "Not a problem, man. You know what classic fights are all about." And speaking of classic fights, take a look at this little classic James Dean little graffiti they got going on over here. Take a look at that, right? We are here in East Sacramento right now as I am about to go food shopping. So before I went food shopping, I decided, hey, I'm going to go hop on a live and talk about this particular subject, because I know that it is a subject that a lot of content creators are talking about or bringing up as a topic, but at the same time, I don't think they're giving you the full objective point of view of this matter. Because what most people are saying out there right now is this. They are saying that, hey, you know what? Conor McGregor is not taking this seriously. Well, how do you know that? And then there are other people that are saying, well, Conor McGregor is taking this seriously, and this is just an aspect of the art of war that he is sort of trying to deceive Michael Chandler. And is there any truth to that? Absolutely, there's some truth to that. But you know what they say? The truth is somewhere in the middle. And this is my true to God, honest, objective take on this matter. And take into consideration, you really can't measure how much drugs or booze Conor McGregor has done all throughout this time. It's not something that you can measure by accurate metrics. But this is the best educated guess I can give you right now. So when he started the training camp for Michael Chandler, was he doing drugs? Was he drinking? Yes. Was he doing that during the Ultimate Fighter? 100%. But somewhere down the line, he started becoming more disciplined. Okay? And I think he is getting disciplined at the, I don't know if you want to say the right time, because in my personal opinion, there is never a right time to drink whatsoever. I just don't think drinking helps you to any kind of degree. But I think that he stopped at a certain point. And what you are seeing right now is nothing more than just a facade that he wants you to believe that, hey, I'm out here not really doing what I'm supposed to do. But I don't think that's really what it is. I think what is going on is everything that is somewhere in the middle. I think that Conor McGregor is being very meticulous in his training. But it's fair to say that he wasn't being meticulous early enough. So that's something that I think is really worth understanding here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to have 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to get out in the 30-minute mark of this particular live stream, because I wanted to say this, okay? Don't believe everything that you read or that you see on TV or on the internet, especially with people that want to hyper-sensationalize everything. Now, do I want views? Do I want likes? Do I want attention? Do I want monetization on YouTube? Yes, I did it. In the moment is what's going on. That believe Conor McGregor is not ready for this fight. Well, I got to be honest with you, you have every right to believe that. Because there were a lot of things that Conor McGregor has done that really questions his motivation. So you can't blame anybody for thinking that. At the same time, you also can't blame other people for believing that Conor McGregor is really as dead serious as he always was and always will be when it comes to the fight game. But I'm going to end it with this, with a big question mark that I want you all to ponder on. Just because he's ready and just because he's doing all the right things, you got to ask yourself, will his body hold up? That is the ultimate question that we really have to ask as we wonder about Conor McGregor going into his fight with Michael Chandler. Guys, that is all that I have for you right now. I am about to bounce out. Thank you for all of those that have tapped in. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys on the next content, and I hope that I gave you guys the best explanation possible when it comes to understanding Conor McGregor in a nutshell, in terms of his training camp, inshallah. I'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.